I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Councilman Simulka.
Here.
Councilman Garrick. Here. Councilman Akamoto is unable to be here this evening. Councilwoman Del Minio.
Here.
Council President Mazer.
Here. Please rise for the salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all council members and to all legal newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
The public is hereby advised that any statements made during a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook may not be privileged or protected, and that persons or entities who take issue with such comments or are offended by same may inhabit a pass or legal redress to the courts. Any member of the public who addresses the council speaks for themselves and not for the council.
Can I ask for a motion? Just thank you for your patience this evening. We did have our work session earlier and it did go over, but we thank you. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is now open to the public. Anyone wishing to be heard?
Yes. Good evening, everybody. Councilman Winkle, 128 Lincoln Avenue, Saddlebrook. Just bringing you another update on the Mayor's Youth Group. This month, we're going to be participating in a couple different activities. First one is on April the 16th from 1 to 3 p.m. is the Saddlebrook Easter celebration. We'll be helping out with the games and all the activities that take place. At the Easter celebration, it's going to be back at the high school this year in the gym. We ask all the youth group members to arrive about a half hour before everything starts at 1. So again, that's going to be Saturday, April 16th, 1 to 3. The next activity we are participating in is going to be an Earth Day cleanup. We're going to be doing a cleanup and some planting, I believe, at Tricentennial Park on Saturday, April the 23rd. We're working out the time for that, but we're expecting to do it around 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. that day, but we will post all in the information once we have it. And that's all we have right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Having seen no one, motion closed?
Motion.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Good evening. My name is Janae Ferguson. I am new to the community and trying to get a little more involved. And I have some concerns, and I want to get more familiar with the town and the community. So my concerns.
Before you continue, can we have your address, please?
Oh, 321 8th Street.
Thank you.
So I've been watching online, watching the meetings. I'm happy to be here in person today, and some of the concerns that I wanted to, I don't know, address or get some clarity on are the public safety issues and the negative connotations to the numbered street section of the community and the lack of recreation on the side of the highway that the number streets are on. So looking to get more involved and lend a helping hand if I can, youth enrichment, things of that nature. So
Okay, great, thank you, welcome.
thank you.
Anyone else wishing to be heard at this time?
Can I ask a question
Yes,
already?
go ahead. Yes.
Ms. Ferguson,
Yes.
you live on 8th Street. Are you near the highway?
I'm about a block and a half away from the highway.
Did you have any issues with regard to noise emanating from any of those businesses in that, along the highway over there?
I don't-
Because I had heard, and since you're from there, you'd have to come in.
I hear a lot of noise from the drag racing on the highway, but not necessarily from the businesses.
Live music I'm talking about.
No.
No? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Did we close? No. No, we okay. Motion to close?
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Mayor?
Thank you. I have a proclamation. This month April is Autism Awareness Month. So in recognition, I'm going to read this proclamation. Globally, since 2008, Autism Awareness Day is April the 2nd and is observed throughout the month. The day often features educational events for healthcare workers, teachers, parents, and children with autism. Autism is a neurological disorder that interferes with the normal function of the human brain and can affect anyone regardless of ethnicity, gender, and socioeconomic background. Symptoms and characteristics of autism may present themselves in a variety of combinations and can result in significant lifelong impairment of an individual's ability to learn, develop healthy interactive behaviors and understand verbal and nonverbal communication. A variety of public and private organizations and agencies strive to provide quality care, support, and services to children and adults with autism to help them to live as independently as possible and reach their full potential. So now, therefore, on this, the 7th day of April, 2022, I, Robert D. White, the mayor of the Township of Saddlebrook, do hereby proclaim April Autism Awareness Month. I urge all residents to become educated and informed about programs, services, and opportunities to help support individuals with autism. A COVID update. Thankfully, it's all good news. All cases of hospitalizations, deaths, have all fallen to levels not seen since July of last year. In fact, Bergen County keeps track of each municipality and how many cases they have. They are still keeping track, but they are so low they're not even reporting them to us, which is a good thing. In the United States, the Omicron subvariant has now become a dominant strain. The hardest hit region is currently the Northeast, which we're from. And most cases are there. I'd like to just remind everybody that the CDC says the best way to protect yourself and others is to stay up to date with vaccinations and boosters and get tested when exposed to sick people and monitor the latest public health guidance. Next, the budget update. We're still working on the budget. Our auditor is guiding us along the way. It's important that the budget is fiscally sound and correct rather than rushing through it, the whole budget process. So we are currently working, and we're getting closer to submitting that budget to the council. Grants, our community development block grant for barrier-free devices for the new municipal complex. We received those funds, $156,644, which is good, but that's for the new municipal complex. We have a couple of ordinances on tonight, 2 bond ordinances, second reading for the road improvement, $1.6 million towards paving and improving of the roads. Also, there's a second reading for $375,000 for various improvements, most importantly, the HVAC for the police department. We also have a second reading for specific classes of cannabis, specifically micro businesses, class 1 micro businesses, allowing them in the B2 zones. We also, Pete, last week, or earlier this week, met with FEMA. We're putting in for $40,000 reimbursement from them for COVID related expenses, mostly PPE and fogging the buildings. So we should, I feel pretty confident we should get those funds. Events that are coming up, the Ambulance Corps Fish and Chips is this Friday, April the 15th. Not this Friday, next Friday. April the 15th. And you have to purchase tickets online. There are still, I think tonight might be the last night, but the Ambulance Corps is selling some of the tickets down in the ambulance building. Tonight was the last night, so But you can purchase them online as well. It's a drive-through again this year. It's not, you have to order and then you drive through and they give you your meal. The Easter celebration is Saturday, April the 16th from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Saddlebrook High School Middle School. Little League opening day is the same day, also Saturday the 16th. I still haven't got the exact time. If it goes along with every other year, it starts at 10:30 and ends at 12:30. It usually starts on Fairlawn Parkway and Checkers. Earth Day, which Thomas talked about, is going to be Saturday, April 23rd, probably 11, 12 o'clock, but it's going to be again at Tricentennial Park. So that's all I have. Happy Easter and happy Passover. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Garrett.
Good evening. I have a township resolution for the war in the Ukraine. The resolution reads as follows. Whereas on February 24th, 2022, Russian forces launched an unprovoked, full-scale, renewed invasion of the peaceful, independent country of Ukraine. And whereas also on February 24th, 2022, the G7 issued a statement condemning the large-scale military aggression by the Russian Federation against the territorial integrity, sovereignty, and independence of Ukraine. And whereas on February 25th, 2022, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, condemned in the strongest possible terms Russia's horrifying act on Ukraine, called on Russia to turn back from a path of violence and aggression, and reaffirmed an ironclad commitment to Article 5. And whereas the European Commission, France, Germany, Italy, and the United Kingdom and Canada, along with the United States, committed to coordinated economic sanctions, including severe restrictions against Russian central bank and full blocking sanctions against Vladimir Putin. And whereas the United States leadership is integral to nations around the world in condemning and imposing costs on the Russian Federation for its legal, full-scale, renewed invasion of Ukraine. And whereas it has been reported that Russian forces have targeted civilians, which would constitute war crimes and crimes against humanity. And whereas the United States, along with its allies in Europe, the Indo-Pacific, and others around the world, have been actively responding to Russia's unprovoked war of aggression against Ukraine with critical military, humanitarian, and financial support for Ukraine and the Ukrainian people. And whereas the state of New Jersey has numerous residents of Ukrainian descent, some of whom are located in the township of Saddlebrook and neighboring communities. And whereas it is in the best interest of the residents of the township to support the people of the Ukraine in protecting their sovereignty. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that it unequivocally supports Ukrainian sovereignty and territorial integrity, affirms the continued use of peaceful methods, including sanctions by the United States, to fully isolate the Putin regime economically for its unprovoked aggression against Ukraine, supporting the resistance of the Ukrainian people as long as the Russian Federation continues to violate Ukrainians' sovereignty and territorial integrity. Declares that the war in Ukraine, a democratic country, represents the front line of democracy and freedom versus authoritarianism represented by Putin's government. Supports the state of New Jersey's suspension of relations with the businesses and financial institutions backed by the Russian government, and stands steadfast, staunchly, proudly behind the Ukrainian people in their fight against the authoritative Putin regime. Be it therefore resolved by the township shall forward certified copies of this resolution to Governor Philip Murphy members of the legislative representation for District 38 and the New Jersey State League of Municipalities. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Have a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Simalukas? Yes. Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dominio?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes.
I just have one or two more things, okay?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. I mentioned this last month, the Saddlebrook Educational Foundation will be holding a fundraising dinner dance at the VFW on April 30th from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Tickets are $55 and can be purchased by going to the website www.sbefnj.org. The Flood Committee has rescheduled its meeting for Wednesday, April 27th at the Senior Center at 6:30. Anyone interested in attending? That's when it'll be. And finally, happy Easter and happy Passover to all of our residents. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Dave, I want to ask you something because when we had Chicken Bingo, there's keychains to support the Ukrainian people. They're here at Town
We have a
Hall,
few,
yes.
and we have them at the Senior Center. So anyone that wants to come in to make whatever donation, and they'll get a keychain, and I think a lot of the seniors did donate, so it's a good, certainly a good cause.
Thanks very much.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, so that's a good thing.
Thank you.
I'm gonna mention the building again, and I wanna mention Thomas, who is a regular once a week at least, and takes pictures every week of what's going on. And it is on our website or our Facebook, which
The
one?
website.
The website, and every week, he puts on all the pictures, and Neil, who's the project manager there, he explains the pictures as you go along. So the building is moving along, as I was saying before. We are fine tuning to make sure each department, because now we're going to be under all one roof, to make sure that everything is where it should be. The electric wiring should be in place by the end of next week. Ceilings will be closed. We are planning the grand opening for September 24th. And with a rain date of the 25th, that will be from 12 to 4 at the parking lot of the building. We will be having tours, groups going in for everybody to see the building. We will not be occupying the building at that point. Construction will be done in July, but because we're waiting on certain parts that are coming from Mexico, it's delayed us. So everything will be done by September 24th, and it'll be done prior, but we won't be moved in until after our grand opening. So just so that the public knows. Also, I wanted to mention, and I wanted to ask you, Mayor, and I forgot, May council meeting. We talked about the principal when we were at the senior center, about the artwork for the students.
Yes.
And he had mentioned, and I haven't followed up with you, that September was his target date to have the kids have their artwork done. So,
I gotta follow up.
Would
I
you
haven't
do
spoken
that?
to him.
yeah, because he felt May was a good time. What we're doing is, the mayor, along with the superintendent and the principal, went to the art students at the school, middle, high school, to draw something about Saddlebrook. And we're going to use, whether it be photograph, graphic design, pictures, we're gonna frame it all and hang it all through the building. So I'm not sure if you could double check in May when that's coming up. And I want to thank Nancy Murray because she's moving out of her facility and has been kind enough to donate furniture to us. The furniture's beautiful. Thank you very much. It saved us a lot of money. Visions also, who we bought the building from, has given us a lot of furniture. So we were able to get really nice furniture, only with the expense of moving it. So we've been very lucky on that. And the picnic is July 2nd, 12 to 4 at the park. The fireworks, tentatively, Pete, are that night, correct?
That night.
a rain date on the 3rd. And I think, did I cover you all, Andrew?
I got some.
Okay. Happy Easter to everyone and happy Passover.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Oh,
Hi. What you forgot was
Yes.
the concert that we're gonna have
Sorry.
at the new complex. So bring your chair, unless you want to put a blanket on asphalt, but it's going to be newly paved, so it'll be nice and smooth. But it's July 22nd, Friday evening, which almost all of these town concerts are on Tuesdays or Wednesdays or Thursdays. We got it on a Friday, which is an awesome thing, and it's going to be a Billy Joel tribute band. So that's the first one that we've ever had, and I think it's going to go great. I want to just say again, thanks to Karen. She's doing a great job over there at the municipal complex. And every time I go in there, and now that you see the walls going up and the painting and the floors in, it's big. I mean, there's going to be no shortage of room in there. On the recreation side, it's going to be great. And Karen came up with something. We were, zoned in on doing something a certain way, and actually we were just breaking up. She says, "Hey, how about this?" And then we all got back together and said, "You know what? That's an awesome idea," and changed it. And it's a much better location for our fitness room, because we're going to have, when you walk in on the rec side, there's going to be a snack bar or reception area, and on the right is going to be a fitness area, and then you go past that and there's the court. I don't want to say it's a basketball court, it's a multi-purpose room that is going to have 6 stations for basketball. And there's a training room involved in there. If you wanted to do training for whatever it is, you could have anything in there. It's a big room. You could do crafts, arts and crafts, things like that. And we're thinking in terms of potentially having summer camps and things like that. And then there's a room in the back that also can be used for a variety of things. So we've got, it's a multi-purpose gym, and it will be used for multiple purposes. It's going to come out great. We talked earlier, for those who watched or were here for the last meeting, there was a issue with regard to commercial parking, because the council, we had passed the ordinance for commercial parking. We did discuss that at the work session, and I was part of the committee to look it over and report back. Made some suggestions, some were accepted, some were not, and we're going to be voting on that next month, the amendments to that. But, I'm not hiding anything. In general, the consensus seems to be that the prohibition of street parking for commercial vehicles will remain in force. What we plan on doing is allowing warnings to be given, again, just like when it was enacted to begin with, to warn people that they can't do what apparently they were doing. If you've got a commercial vehicle, you got to get it in your driveway or in a driveway. I'm kind of, are you giving a report? Sure.
It usually does it in the regular meeting, but.
Okay, I just got, you are, just for the people out there that came a couple months ago for the wrestling, you were looking at their preliminary plans and working on it?
At this,
I hope.
no, we're
No.
not.
Okay. Okay, do you have the plan?
No.
Okay, well, we will get you the plan. I thought you had it. Because we're talking about the garage over at Veterans Field. Right. We've got people that say they want to help us do the work, but we need you as the oversight person. Okay, so we'll get that together. Another event which I'm involved in, which is at April 13th, a group that I'm involved in, will be hosting a fundraiser for the Saddlebrook Food Pantry. Again, it's next Wednesday, April 13th, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Bring a bag of non-perishables, and you will be provided with an adult beverage and appetizers. So
Where is it?
please, it's at Midland Brew House. So we thank Midland Brew House for agreeing to host it. And again, it's an organization that I'm involved in, but for the benefit of the food pantry. So please tell your friends about it, and hopefully we will see you there next Wednesday. Thank you.
Great idea.
Thank you, thank you. Move on to ordinances.
Ordinance 1718-22, an ordinance of the Township of Saddlebrook, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, and supplementing Chapter 206 of the Township Code regulating the operation of specific classes of cannabis businesses within its geographical boundaries. Second reading.
Motion,
Motion.
Second.
roll call.
Councilman Samuka.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Council President Mason.
Yes.
An ordinance of the Township of Saddlebrook, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, supplementing Chapter 206 of the Township Code regulating the operation of specific classes of cannabis businesses within its geographical boundaries. Public hearing.
Motion,
Motion.
Second.
roll call.
Councilman Samuka.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Council President Mason.
Yes. Okay. A motion to open to the public.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is now open to the public regarding this ordinance. Anyone wishing to be heard? Seeing no one, motion closed.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the Township of Saddlebrook, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, supplementing Chapter 206 of the Township Code, regulating the operation of specific classes of cannabis businesses within its geographical boundaries, is now passed on a second and final reading, and that the Township Clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Motion,
Motion.
Second.
second, roll call.
Councilman Samuka.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Council President Mason.
Yes.
Ordinance 1719-22, second reading, a bond ordinance to authorize the 2022 road improvement program in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook and the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,600,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds for a second reading.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Councilman Samuka. Yes. Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Council President Mason.
Yes.
A bond ordinance to authorize the 2022 road improvement program in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook and the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,600,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bond.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Councilman Samuka. Yes. Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Council President Mason.
Yes. Motion to open to the public.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The meeting is now open to the public regarding this ordinance. Anyone wishing to be heard? Seeing no one?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, a bond ordinance to authorize the 2022 road improvement program in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,600,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. This is now passed on second and final reading. And that the township clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of its date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Samuel, yes. Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilwoman D'Arminio.
Yes.
Council President Baker.
Yes.
Ordinance 1720-22, a bond ordinance to authorize the undertaking of various improvements to municipal buildings and property in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook, in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $375,000, pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. There's second reading.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Samuel.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilwoman D'Arminio.
Yes.
Council President Mazer.
Yes.
A bond ordinance to authorize the undertaking of various improvements to municipal buildings and property in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $375,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation note, anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. This is now passed on second and final reading. Sorry. Open to the public.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is now open to the public regarding this ordinance. Anyone wishing to be heard? Seeing
Motion
none,
closed.
motion closed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, a bond ordinance to authorize the undertaking of various improvements to municipal buildings and property in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $375,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. This is now passed on second and final reading, and that the township clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Samuel?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilwoman D'Arminio?
Yes.
Council President Baker?
Yes.
We have the consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine and non-controversial by the Township Council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or members so requested, in which case the item or items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. The one motion signifies adoption of all resolutions, receiving final letters, correspondence, reports, and approval of minutes and applications to be added to the consent agenda. There's a resolution concerning cannabis, resolution awarding a contract for the solid waste, the data, and amending or advising the over 2,500 to go with the recommendation that Captain Gallo gave us the other day.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Samuka?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilwoman D'Arminio?
Yes.
Council President Mazer?
Yes. Dave?
In new business, I'd like to make a motion to rescind the suspension of the commercial vehicle ordinance.
Motion.
Second? Roll call?
Councilman Samuca?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dominio?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes. New business. New business, right? This week.
Council President, I got
Yes,
a few things.
yes, sure.
Really not new business, but
Okay.
it's new business, old business. I just want to thank Mrs. Ferguson for coming to the meeting.
Yes.
And after the meeting, if you're obviously going to, we're almost done. So I'll give you my card. I want you to contact my secretary, Christine, and she can provide you with some information. I'd like to get together. And I know you're not alone there. You know, we do have one park. It's Fifth Street Park. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It really it needs some improvement there. So, and I think we can do a lot more with that space. But I thank you very much for coming and being here.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Also, the Daisy keychains that Councilwoman Dominio brought up, that, I want to thank the seniors. They really supported that big time. I mean, they raised quite a bit of money, as well as here at Town Hall. There's still some keychains left. I know it was put out on Facebook, social media, and I'm pretty sure we have it on the TV. We have the advertisement on the TV station as well. Also, I know the school and the school was collecting clothes and other personal care items. I think they're done, but the church, St. Philip's, I think they're still collecting as well for the Ukraine. So, and that, I know that was also put out on Facebook and social media, on the website. Also, I forgot to mention that we received word from Lou Borelli, the commander of our VFW, that they are going to have Memorial Day Parade this year. It's going to be Sunday, May the 29th. So he confirmed that. The town does donate 10,000?
Right.
Five. Tried to slip that in there.
I know the number.
Five. 5,000. So we're looking forward to that. Also, Councilwoman Dominio mentioned the artwork with the school. One other project that they're doing, their graphic design teacher, Dawn Mazza, she contacted me, and she wants her class to design a new township seal. Ours is kind of old-fashioned. I happen to like it. I think it's nice the way it is, but they want to try to design something a little more contemporary. But I was really impressed. I went in, met the class, along with the school principal and Superintendent Violetti, and they really had a lot of information about the seal itself, like what each symbol represented, and they did their homework. It was really nice. I obviously didn't make any promises. We they're going to get together a sample, but they know that we got the new building coming, and we're obviously going to have some seal in the front. So whether it's this one or maybe a new one, we'll see. But and also the artwork was a great idea, and that was Councilwoman Dominio's idea as well. A great one, and they're really looking forward to. I believe what they're going to do is they're going to submit the art, and I think they're going to do it like a contest. But well, just so I guess the best ones get some kind of award. But all of them will. I mean, they've got a lot of space. They'll all be presented there, hung, whether it be a photo or whatever. It'll be displayed there at the town hall. So I want to thank the school district, Dawn Mazza, who's a resident as well, teacher, the graphic design teacher.
Is that it, man?
That's it.
Old business, anybody have any old, new business?
Just, since I read. Again, Ms. Ferguson, the mayor said exactly what I was going to say about the Fifth Street. We've talked about that a number of times. There is a park there, it's kind of hidden inside there. We talked about doing different things with it. I don't want to get any great ideas, dog park maybe, or put some recreation facility in there. And I'm thinking that maybe are new friends that may be coming into town with new businesses would be in the position to help us out with some funding and things like that. Again, I don't want to throw you under the bus like I did before, but speed humps. Wilson, are they coming up?
Well, I think we should determine for this year where we want them. We can put out a,
Well, Wilson was decided
it was
last year.
decided, yes.
Right.
But I don't want to put out a contract just to do
Just for
one.
one, right.
So I want to, if we do 4 or 8.
What about
I
the,
want a
and
contract.
you have the locations for Fairlawn Parkway? You said you had
I
seen some.
think I had suggested a couple
Yeah,
spots there, so I have those and I have one of those.
and we're gonna, you, me, and the rest of the committee are gonna go out and look at Lanza, because we've gotten some recommendations or requests for Lanza from people that actually are employees that are there crossing their children. That might be a good place for it. So we'll go out and do that, and then that'll give you, 3 or 4, so this way we can bundle them up and put them together. That's all.
That's it? Okay. Other business? Motion to open the meeting to the public?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is now open to the public. Anyone wishing to be heard?
Motion to close.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
To wish everyone a happy.
Well, motion, that was to close. That was to close.
Yes, close the meeting. I'm rushing it, sorry. It's been a long night.
Now I'll make the motion to close the meeting.
Okay. Motion.
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Happy Easter, happy Passover, everyone. Good night.